With Star Wars The Acolyte having officially concluded for a few weeks now, I've had some time to develop my overall thoughts of the music for this show. Today, I'll be sharing what I felt were the high points, the low points, and the weird moments in the score by Michael Abels. Overall, the music for The Acolyte was well crafted and helped create the vibe that I expected for this show. It was haunting and at times gave me goosebumps, such as the moment when the stranger descended behind Osha in the jungles of Kofar. This was always going to be the strength for Abels, who is seasoned in thriller movies with Jordan Peele, like Nope, Get Out, and Us. But what I was pleasantly surprised by was how well Abels also adapted his scoring and orchestration at times to sound nearly identical to the music for the prequels by John Williams, utilizing music similar to what we hear as we arrive on Coruscant in The Phantom Menace as we transition to that planet. Or during space battles. Or when Abels used the music from the ballet in Revenge of the Sith to help signal Plagueis to us, allowed us to stay in the universe of Star Wars while also allowing this show to become a playground for Abels. However, a weak point for the score, in my opinion, was how Abels adapted themes for characters. As Star Wars fans, we're used to themes helping tell the story of the characters that they are connected to. However, Abels didn't quite connect these themes to their characters in a convincing way. For example, it's several minutes into meeting Osha before we hear her theme, making it difficult to make a clear connection.
Mother's your sister. Your village all died in the fire before Master Soul brought you into the Jedi. Your training was difficult.
The themes also seem to not consistently be used for specific characters, as when Abels uses Osha's theme to announce the arrival of Jedi. Or May's theme for general unrest. And to be fair, this was part of what Abels was attempting to do, not attribute themes directly to characters so much as situations and moments. And I appreciate that he attempted this, but after 40 years of understanding leitmotifs to work one way in Star Wars, this was hard for me, and I'm sure for many fans to adapt to. And it meant that the potential storytelling of the leitmotifs, the music, and the show was missing a little bit of its full potential. And the low moment of this series, whether I was focused on the music or not, was in Episode 3, when the Coven begin to sing and chant during their ritual. As they do so, the diegetic music and singing moves to the non-diegetic soundtrack in a way that began breaking the fourth wall for me. It took me out of the chanting of the witches and into something that felt too much like other franchises under the Disney brand. In fact, I immediately felt like I was in a live-action Lion King style movie, and that we were about to have Anastasia break into a full-on solo about the power of many. We didn't need this track. It didn't add to the scene. In fact, for me and most other viewers, I think, it detracted heavily from the moment. But it also broke with Star Wars tradition of discernible lyrics in Star Wars music. There are exceptions, such as Jedi Rock in Jabba's Palace, which serves as a diegetic world-building musical moment. There's also Duel of the Fates, but since we aren't meant to understand the words, they function as individual consonances more than a literal lyric that diverts our attention. But here, the lyrics take over and move our focus away from the scene and to it as the music. And in this genre of film, that doesn't work. The only other instance I can think of where this happens is in the holiday special, and that is not a movie that anyone wants their content compared to. Then, there was the mysterious Kylo Ren theme that never seemed to be explained or lead to a discernible reason. I'm all for utilizing subtle themes of characters not present, like when Abels alludes to Vader in Episode 8.
Before one of you snaps, and when, not if that happens, who will be strong enough to stop him?
That's certainly an opinion.
But the Kylo theme makes no sense to me, and it kept me speculating about things that just never came to pass. It needed to have a clear connection, and it didn't. It became a dead end instead, and Abels used this carelessly, in my opinion. There are also themes introduced that seem to clearly be connected to specific subjects, such as when this fanfare plays for the arrival of the Jedi in Episode 1. I never heard this theme again though for the rest of the series, and so I'm left wondering why it ever happened, or if it actually means anything at all. Instead, I would have loved to have heard the Force theme in this show, or Yoda's theme in the very last scene. These would have been brilliant additions that the Kiners have been successful adopting for years. Instead, they were missed opportunities to give Star Wars fans Star Wars music. So the vibe, the ambience, the orchestration was great. Perhaps the best I've heard outside of John Williams himself. But the planning of the leitmotifs left this soundtrack with less potential narrative strength, and Episode 3 left me with a moment where I completely came out of the scene without gaining anything. And I would have loved to have heard the Force theme somewhere in this show, and not the singing in Episode 3. But I absolutely would love to know what all of you think. What was your impression of the music in this show? What did you like the most, and what did you like the least? Tell me in the comments below what you think, and consider checking out my Patreon page using the link in the description, where you can help support this channel for as little as $1 a month, or download PDFs and MP3s of projects as I complete them, along with other perks at higher tiers. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to learn more about the music of a galaxy far, far away, and as always, may the be with you.